Hi, I'm Matthew Corrigan with the Federal Highway Administration Office of Pavement Technology. I'd like to welcome you to our mobile asphalt testing laboratory. This program we put in place in order to assist state agencies and industry as well with implementing new materials and new technologies. So we basically have a mobile asphalt testing laboratory right here. So this is kind of the back end of the mobile lab, and this is kind of where our standard operations, almost any type of testing that you would see in any standard contractor or mixed testing laboratory. We've got all those same testing capabilities here. We've got the two different versions of gyratory, super big gyratory compactors. This one, the Servo Pack, the reason why we have this particular one is because it allows us to compact these very tall specimens. When we started doing some advanced implementation of materials, we needed to be able to compact these tall specimens, and at the time, this was one of the few gyratories that could accommodate those extra heights. There's many more compactors now that can do that as well. And then moving through, you'll see just kind of all, again, many of those standard test equipment that you see. We've got various ovens. We've got the NCAT ignition oven. We've got sails. We've got our vent hoods. We don't do any binder testing in the field now. Most of that material is sent back to our partners back in our research facility. But this is all mixed-based. We showcase and implement new technologies. For instance, some of the mixless angle verification devices that we use in the gyratory compactor, where we can verify the internal angle setting of the compactor without actually using mixes, as well as one of the newer devices, the bore gauge, in order to determine our tolerances within the super big gyratory compactor mold itself to make sure that we're maintaining the tolerances to meet our specifications. Here we've got the ignition oven where we burn off the asphalt from the mix in order to determine the asphalt quantity that's in the mix, or the percent asphalt. And as we move towards the front of the laboratory, mobile lab here, this is where you see some of the more unique pieces of equipment that we're trying to use for implementation of new equipment, new technologies, new materials to evaluate new materials, especially in performance, material performance, long-term performance. Here on this side, we've got, this is the aggregate imaging system. This is the research prototype. Manufactured now, currently is being manufactured by Pine Instruments, but this current version is not what they'll be putting out to their market or to the general public. This was for implementation and evaluation of different aggregates, but it's a digital imaging system with a camera that we can use to capture images of aggregates and quantify their angularity and their form, and we can use that in order to work that type of data into the long-term performance of our materials based on just the aggregate qualities as well. Some of the other pieces of equipment, just to kind of make our life easier, we've got a core dry. This allows us to more rapidly dry out our test specimens, especially when we take those tall gyratory specimens in the back and we have to core them or saw them using wet saws or wet coring. This allows us to kind of speed up that process by drying those out without damaging them. We also have the core lock, which is basically a very large vacuum pressure where we can put our specimens in the bags and we can apply a vacuum, draw that out, and we can use that to do our testing and analysis, simplify, speed up some of the historical test procedures that have taken a lot longer.
And you take a sample of the core at every site?
We usually do it when we set up on a site. We'll do a lot of different things. We do a lot of just source material evaluations, such as the aggregates, the liquid binder. Then we'll also do mixed design replication, and we'll run this series of tests in the trailer in order to quantify the performance of those mixes according to the mix design itself. And then we'll also do sampling during production at the contractor's production facility, but we'll sample that as produced material. We'll come back here and we'll evaluate all the same protocols in order to compare how the different aspects of production are changing the properties of the mixes and how that relates to long-term performance. This is probably our showcase piece of equipment right now. This is the Asphalt Mixture Performance Tester, formerly known as the Simple Performance Tester. There are 3 different manufacturers of this device currently, but this is really to test the asphalt mixture, the total mixture itself, and evaluate it similar to what that mixture would see out on the roadway. To where we put these specimens in, like I mentioned, we kind of pour out the center and trim off the ends of the tall gyratory specimens in order to give us a more uniform air void distribution. But then we load it in this environmental chamber with instrumentation where we can measure stresses and strains, and we will load this specimen in a cyclic mode where we're continually rapidly loading it with different frequencies of loading from fast to slow and multiple temperatures. And it really simulates what the mixture is seeing under traffic out on the roadway. It gives us a better idea of what that mix will perform like in place without actually having to have it in place for many, many years and evaluating it. The device itself is being implemented on a national basis by Federal Highway through a full fund study where we're assisting state agencies with acquiring these devices and starting to evaluate and implement them as part of their mix design procedures. This has also been adopted, this particular device, the measured value that comes out of this is dynamic modulus, or E-star, and that is an input to the new mechanistic empirical pavement design guide that has been adopted by ASHTO. So this type of information will be used by state agencies to develop their fitness designs for their pavements as we move ahead into the future.
How many days out of the year is the lab on the road?
We try to be out on the road almost full time. Now we do take some breaks for the requisite holidays. In the winter time, we tend to shift to the lower tier states in order to have the weather accommodate us. And if we can't come up with some good projects with newer materials and evaluating those or a larger size through a state DOT, we may be idle a few months in the winter time. But pretty much other than that, we're on the road nonstop.
And approximately how long are you based at each site?
I'm sorry.
At each site?
At each site?
Yeah.
It still very depends on the size of the project, the size of the site there, how many tons are being produced. Typically, we target anywhere from 4 to 6 weeks, depending on schedules, depending on not only our schedule, but the contractor's schedule. Obviously, with any type of construction, schedule tends to be kind of a moving target because of delays and weather and things like that. So we try to accommodate those as well, but usually in the neighborhood about 4 to 6 weeks.
And you work with state agencies, state DOTs?
Yep, exactly. Primarily, we do everything through state agencies. We're really trying to assist the state agencies with things like new testing devices. This E-star dynamic modulus is coming out of the Asphalt Mixture Performance Tester is something they need to be aware of so that they can evaluate their own local materials within their state in order to quantify that E-star and use that for their fitness designs. Things like new technologies like Warmix Asphalt that everybody's heard of to come out and assist with evaluating and implementing those technologies as well.
How long has Mobile Lab been?
We have been, as a program, been in existence since the middle 80s when SuperPave was developed, that mix design methodology. And we had more than just one trailer at that point where we were trying to implement the SuperPave mix design methodology. We were traveling the country showing how to do volumetric control and testing for SuperPave. We have since scaled back a little bit, and this is the only remaining mixed trailer out of the ones that we had from the original SuperPave project. But we're still in the same mission of implementing new procedures, new technologies, and evaluating new materials.
And if people are interested in having you come out on site?
Yeah, we're always interested in assisting. Contact either your local Federal Highway Division office. We have a Federal Highway Division office in every state that works very close with their state DOT partners. You can also go through the state DOT and have them request through our division office, and if we can accommodate a visit or we can come help out and assist on some agency projects, we would be more than happy to do that.
Okay, great. Thank you.